cost baseline. And what is this? Why do we do it? So cost baseline is not a one number. Yeah, many a time this is something I have to clarify again and again to the professionals who are doing PMP exam. So it's not like my cost budget is 500,000 or $500,000. You have that number, but that is not cost baseline. That is, in our project management, we call it budget at completion. At the end of the project, this is what you are expected to spend. And that's a one number. So then what is the cost baseline? You can say that is the cost baseline. Cost baseline is a time-phased expense plan, time-phased. So it is like in January, I am spending 100. In February, I am spending another 100. So by February, I will be spending 200. And by the end of 6 months, I need a 500,000 budget. So it is a time phased. From where you get a time phased? Connected from the project schedule. So you have multiple activities which you want to do in your project. Each activity will be consuming some resources. And based on that, the cost estimate will come for those activities. I can see on a time-bound manner how much expenses we are making. And then I can prepare a cumulative line which shows up to this date, this much money you can spend. Up to this date, this much money you should have spent. That is my cost baseline. So cost baseline has a time factor along with it, not just the money factor. So say if I'm tracking my variance in the month of January, and my project budget may be 500,000 overall. My say budget at completion, let's use a specific language. My budget at completion could be a 500,000, but I am tracking the budget on the January. I am not comparing with that 500,000. I have to compare the number which is expected to be spent by the January. So my cost baseline for that moment is not 500,000, rather the number which is expected to be followed by the time we have that particular tracking happening. So cost baseline is a time-based budgeting number, not just one number. Another important thing is there is a significant value of cost baseline because it creates a benchmark. So in our predictive life cycle, these all conversations are more relevant to predictive life cycle as I started with. In a predictive life cycle, we prepare our detailed plan and we are expected to adhere to it. We are expected to be in line with it, or that work as a benchmark for us. So whenever we are deviating, we probably need to find out why we are doing this deviation and what should we do about it. So that's how we do a variance analysis. So for that purpose, cost baseline becomes an important line, important parameter, which we as a project managers are expected to trace or track throughout the project life cycle. And that's why it is important for project tracking. Somebody will say, can we change the baseline? Yes, you can, which will have a process of your change control. There is a possibility where the previous estimates are not at all relevant. So why to track something which is not going to happen? So say I initially started thinking about 500,000. Now I know it is going to cost us more than 1 million. And there are some things which are beyond our control. So better to track the new thing with a new understanding. So we may have a re-understanding with our stakeholder that is called rebaselining. And then only we can track it with that particular new number. But till the time the rebaselining has not happened, we will follow our original cost baseline. If we have a rebaselining, then we will follow the new cost baseline. So it's the time phase number. It is something which helps us in doing the tracking. And this is something very, very important when we are following a predictive life cycle, because more or less we follow the cost baseline and their reporting.